2023 was arguably the best year for feature-length animation. Across the Spider-Verse, Suzume, The Boy and the Heron, Mutant Mayhem, Elemental, even Puss in Boots and The Last Wish for us in the UK, animation was absolutely booming to the point that it could have easily been the first year in forever that no Disney or Pixar animated feature got nominated for Best Animated Feature. Obviously that wasn't the case, as award shows gave animation next to no screen time, made their obligatory animation is for children jokes. In such a stacked year for animation, standing out was an extremely difficult task. Yet from the ashes, a little movie orchestrated by Disney to never see the light of day hit Netflix on this day, the 30th of June 2023. That movie was Nimona, the little movie that could. Nimona is based on a comic series by N.D. Stevenson, boasting a talented voice cast including Chloe Grace Moretz in the titular role and the talented Riz Ahmed as the voice of Ballister Boldheart. Nimona hit Netflix with a bang. The plot centers around Nimona, a young girl who can shapeshift into literally any animal or human, who is eagerly trying to take the role of sidekick to the nefarious Ballister Boldheart. The problem is, Ballister is not a villain, and was in fact framed for murdering the Queen. Despite this, Nimona offers to help clear his name in exchange for becoming his sidekick. Within the first minute of being on screen, Nimona captured our hearts, as a certain girl once said,
"So you see, that's where the trouble began. That smile. That damn smile."
Whilst I won't sit here and call this movie a masterpiece, Nimona's chaotic energy and deep themes help this film stand out even amongst the absolute titans that released that year, landing a number of Annie Awards and securing a nomination for the Best Animated Feature Oscar, surpassing Suzume and Mutant Mayhem to that spot. However, the story of Nimona's development is a tale of overcoming adversary and making enough noise that you cannot be ignored. Nimona was under the production of Blue Sky Studios, best known for giving us the Ice Age series and Robots, with a release date in 2020. However, once Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, Nimona found itself continuously delayed before being outright cancelled after Blue Sky Studios was shut down for good in April of 2021. However, two Blue Sky Studios alumni executives, Robert Baird and Andrew Milstein, would go on to launch the animation division at Annapurna Pictures, which acquired the rights to finish Nimona, with Netflix picking up the distribution rights. Now, Netflix does get a lot of flack for basically releasing literally anything, but in a world where completed movies are being written off for tax purposes, seriously, hashtag release Coyote vs Acme, Netflix acquiring these abandoned properties for release should be admired, as even if 9 movies are complete garbage, if the 10th is a great movie that speaks to many people, then I am all for Netflix's aggressive strategy. Nimona will be animated by DNEG Animation, with Nick Bruno and Troy Crane sharing the director rights. Disney's choice to let the film die was heavily criticised, with webcomics commentator Gary Terrell stating Disney could have allowed a very different kind of young heroine. I mourn for those who would have found a vision of themselves in an animated version. Staffers at Blue Sky were heartbroken by the cancellation, with some former staff even outright saying that the film received pushback by Disney for its same-sex kiss and LGBT themes. Now, I know the point of Nimona is not to question why she can shapeshift and just to accept her as simply Nimona. However, if there was a reason for her shapeshifting abilities, I offer this headcanon. Nimona and the gang go to visit Mickey Mouse after Blue Sky shut down to ask for their film's release under the Disney banner, leading to this response from Mickey. "Haha, you serious? Your film's for the gay couple stuff. How are we supposed to pander to the Chinese market? They couldn't even take a small peck between 2 women and Lightyear. Haha! What chance does your movie have of all your gender fluidity commentary? Haha! Now get out of my office. I have a masterpiece to create for our 100th anniversary." Dejected, the gang leave Mickey's office, but Nimona, being Nimona, decides,
"Be right back. I'm gonna go break some stuff."
Obviously, breaking everything works up a first, so Nimona ends up in Yzma's secret lab, sees the potion cabinet, sticks them in the blender together, and drinks the whole lot. My evidence? Look at Kuzco transforming in The Emperor's New Groove, and now look at Nimona transforming. Both have pink puffs of smoke. Coincidence?
I think not!
Going back to the film's production, the film at time of its acquisition, according to Quaid, was 70% through layout. DNEG had to build different pipelines from scratch to complete the film, but thankfully Blue Sky left a blueprint and they were able to translate and apply this to their technology. The staff at Blue Sky were paid tribute to at the end of the credits, with approximately 90% of the story remaining intact from the time at Blue Sky. Make no mistake, Nimona is well and truly Blue Sky Studios' swan song. All the devastated staff got to see this unique movie see the light of day on the 30th of June 2023, and I would take this moment to say thank you, Blue Sky, for giving me some of my fondest childhood memories. Now let's talk about the movie itself. Obviously, I did my review on release, however there are many themes to dive into, from Nimona's clear gender fluidity metaphor with the shape-shifting, and the strained relationship between Ballister and Ambrosius, and the themes of prejudice and media manipulation, as well as the responsibility we have as a society to guide our children's perspectives in order to end the cycle of hatred and fear. Embracing change is a big theme within the movie, with characters responding to Nimona's abilities in a variety of ways. Towards the end of the film, Nimona is revealed to have openly shapeshifted round their childhood friend Glorif, whom themselves didn't see anything wrong with her. It is only when the adults separate the two and tell Glorif that Nimona is a monster, which she buys after Nimona causes a fire simply by defending herself from the pitchfork-wielding mob that feared her. People fear what is different, and the film is not subtle in spelling out how easily susceptible children are when it comes to being taught perspectives and outlooks. Thousands of years later, there is a paranoia about monsters that has caused Nimona to be resentful, unable to be themselves. It is clear that when she meets Ballister, that she has been keeping in all this energy because of what had happened to her back then, and her fear of Ballister freaking out when she shapeshifts is a direct result of how people reacted to her back then. My favourite moment in this movie is after they have uploaded the tape of the director's confession, they are playing Monopoly, and it goes, well, however game of Monopoly goes.
You didn't tell me you could breathe fire. Oh. Metal. Best 2 out of 3?
This small smile from Nimona says 1,000 words. This is very likely the first time since Glorif that someone has not immediately freaked out at her abilities. She has finally found someone she can be fully herself around without fear of their reaction, which fully explains why she goes down a suicidal path once Ballister turns on her. You don't even need to be LGBT to relate to this moment. Everyone I know personally had sides of themselves they will not show anyone for fear of being cut off by that person. This moment truly encompasses that thought process. As for themes of bigotry, the word monster is effectively a slur against Nimona. It is a word that cuts deep and can easily be associated with every slur for every minority and sexuality you can think of that I will not say here. Now, looking at the director, her motivation is one of fear and being stuck in their ways. For thousands of years, only nobles could be knights, and Ballister is the first commoner to gain a knighthood. The director does what she does not out of malice, but rather a fear of change. Letting someone into that position is a change that can make society as she knows it crumble, and that is her flaw. She lets that fear and her stubbornness take hold, leading to her actions. When Nimona comes into play, she makes adjustments in order to villainize someone completely different to her and more different than Ballister, using media manipulation to twist the story and instill her fear into the populace, threatens to continue the cycle of fear against the unknown. Despite Nimona's casual attitude to murder, we know this to be a result of the hate she has received for centuries. One of the best lines is,
Because once everyone sees you as a villain, that's what you are. They only see you one way, no matter how hard you try.
which you can associate from everything to cancel culture, where those later proven to be innocent are forever ruined, to how media paints groups as villains, as enemies. When Ambrosius confronts the director and she expresses her fear of how acceptance and change could ruin their society, he simply asks her, "What if we're wrong?" It is a simple line, but it directly questions society and our habits of ostracizing groups we do not understand. Whilst we may not understand certain people, it doesn't mean we can't be wrong about them. The themes of what prejudice we can pass to our young, how media manipulation can guide the populace to hatred, and our fear of the unknown and things that are different, Nimona executes all these themes perfectly well. This film is a direct challenge to us as a society to sometimes question our fears and our perspectives, as the number of people from the LGBT communities and other groups suffering from prejudice that have chosen to throw themselves on the sword is countless. Even moving away from the deeper themes, Nimona tells a familiar story that works but manages to have its own twists on the tale. Simply having Ballister and Ambrosius be a same-sex couple added a unique dimension to what could have been another standard rivalry dynamic. Who else immediately assumed that Ambrosius would be the opposing force to Ballister once it was shown that he was Glorif's ancestor? Simply having these two established as a couple immediately after this helped this dynamic, as whilst Ambrosius is Ballister's enemy for the majority of the movie, having his conflicted feelings and past with Ballister play a role in his motivation saved him from simply being another misguided antagonist wanting revenge and being played like a puppet. This even leads to one of the most real depictions of a man toughing it out despite screaming inside, Ambrosius freaking out to the director, letting all his inner thoughts and stress pour out before it being revealed to just be in his head and simply saying "I'm fine" is a moment that just cuts deep. Having the same-sex couple opened up a number of doors for this movie narratively, and that helped Nimona feel fresh. Nimona as a whole is just a highly energetic movie. The themes are clear as day to the grown-ups, but young kids will be too distracted by the high energy and bright colours that the film brings. Chloe Grace Moretz's performance truly helped Nimona come to life in a big way, and I was personally very happy to see the former hit girl Anabi finally get a chance to shine again, complete with a Banana Splits throwback. Riz Ahmed for me is a future Best Actor winner, and his performance as Ballister, a character who has more than likely faced bigotry in his own life due to his commoner status, seeing him start out as someone scared of Nimona, freaking out at how different she is, and asking the small-minded questions to make sense in his own mind, and then develop into someone that becomes aware of how insensitive some of these questions are, and becoming an accepting person, seeing the person behind what's different. It is such a good arc. But again, even people who have changed can be manipulated back to the former thinking by those they have known longer and have trusted longer. And in that moment, it falls on Ballister himself to question what he believes and make his own choice of perspective, literally saving Nimona from her grief, allowing her to change people's perspectives on her. Nimona is simply a movie that has many themes to those who look, but even without the themes, this is a hilarious comedy. While some jokes are outdated even before the movie's released, Moretz's energetic delivery as the shape-shifting ball of chaos and the chemistry she has with Ahmed make it a highly rewatchable affair. And to any D&D players out there, how many of you have played a changeling druid based on Nimona at this point? Put your hands up, I know there's some of you out there. In a year of outstanding animated movies, this small passion project, once left to die, came out of nowhere, and many people out there felt seen and represented in this animated movie, with Netflix even releasing the full film on YouTube for free in February of 2023, simply so as many people as possible could see it and feel seen in one way or another. Because whether you are a minority, a part of the LGBTQ+ community, someone who bottles their feelings or is afraid of being themselves, or as someone that is becoming more aware of their gender, Nimona quite literally has something for everyone to relate to. So congratulations to Blue Sky Studios and DNEG for what you achieved with this movie. Like Nimona herself, this movie entered the big house of animated studios, broke some stuff, and left its mark on a year of fantastic animated movies. If you made it to the end, make sure you that subscribe button and let me know if you like more video essays like this. I have been Josh, your movie apprentice, and I'll go make an omelette.